Hi, today we are multiplying and dividing integers. Before we learn how to multiply and divide, we need to know how to show multiplication and division. There's not just one symbol for each, so there's lots of symbols for multiply. You can see the X, you can see the dot, you can have two sets of parentheses. Notice there's nothing in between them, no space. Okay, you can have a number next to a set of parentheses with no space. You would not see it like this. You would typically see it as the second number. And then if you're on a computer, you will see it as an asterisk. I don't really know how to spell asterisk, so I'm going to go with, might have a K, might not. All right, so you're going to see it all those different ways. In math, the people that get the most mixed up are on these parentheses. If there's nothing in between in the parentheses, nothing there, then you know you have to multiply. All right, division. Division really didn't change much. We have the division sign. We have the fraction bar, which we've already done this year. And then we have the house. So nothing really new with division. All right, so multiplication means groups of. So if I am going to show three groups of -2 on the number line, I am going to start at 0 always. And groups of, we get to hop. So here's one group of -2, two groups of -2, and three groups of -2. So we end up with 6 negatives as the answer. Okay, if we are showing it on a vertical number line, this time we're going to do division. So we have from here to here that we need to divide into two groups. Okay, so when we divide it into two groups, we end up with -2 in each group. So a little bit different for division. All right, so one main thing. This is for multiplication and division only. Please do not start applying this to adding and subtracting. That's the Army men. That's different. Okay, so multiply and divide only. The way I like to explain it, and I hope it doesn't offend anyone, is there is a bear. Okay, he's in the woods and he has to go to the bathroom. Okay, when he pees, his pee does not go directly straight out, it goes diagonally to the ground. Okay, so this is where the bear pees, in a diagonal. All right, so everything else would be ends. So you pee in a diagonal, everything else in. We're going to call this the P chart from now on. Okay, P meaning positive and N meaning negative. So what it does is it tells you what the answer to your problem is. So if I have 5 groups of -2, I just do 5 times 2 is 10. Now I have a positive times a negative. So I find a P next to an N. The third number is the answer would be negative. So that also works any direction. So if I have a positive times a negative, I'm going to get a negative. Okay? If I go backwards, a positive times a negative is a negative. It works in any direction you want. All right, so this time we're going to divide. 8 divided by 2 is 4. This time we have a negative and then a positive. So find a negative next to a positive. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. So we end up with a -4. All right, remember this symbol means multiply. So multiply 4 and 5 and you get 20. Now we have a negative times a negative. Okay, negative times a negative is a positive. A negative times a negative is a positive. Any direction you go, negative times negative is a positive. So the answer to this is positive 20. All right, so now I'm going to divide 12 divided by 4. It is a positive divided by a positive. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay, the only way you can find the positives together are in this diagonal. A positive divided by positive gets you a positive. So that will stay at positive 3.